Hey guys, this is a video that I've been meaning to make for a pretty long time. It is about the college process. I've recently completed the college process from beginning to end, and I would just like to share with you guys some thoughts about it. I've gone through picking colleges, applying to colleges, receiving acceptance letters, and even choosing a college to attend. So, let me just go through the process beginning to end and my suggestions. First is coming up with the criteria. That should happen in your junior year around latest November to December. You should think about like what regions you want to be in. Do you want to go outside of your country? You want to stay inside your country? You want to have a big university, a small college, mid-size, sports, anything that you're interested in. Just come up with that criteria. It doesn't have to be very specific. It could be really broad. Just somehow cut the list. In my country, the US, there's 2,000 colleges. Even thinking big to small universities or colleges, that cuts the list in half right there. So just do that. Next is picking colleges and getting information on them. And this should happen around January, February. You should be virtual touring colleges, going on their websites, seeing if they have your major, have your interests, and if it's an okay fit for you. Remember that you want something that is a little bit below your standards as well as reaches. You want that full spectrum of likelies, possibles, reaches. So don't limit your mind off to one college because sadly you might not get in. Now, after you've picked and selected the colleges, the latest time I personally think that you should have everything picked out and starting your applications is the end of summer, beginning of the school year. I made that mistake of still choosing colleges while I was in school for my senior year. Do not do that. Enter senior year already knowing where you're going to apply. Next comes applications. Right now, alright? This might seem a little bit trivial, but there's 3 types of applications. There's regular decision, where you apply, you get a letter back around, I think, April, March. That's the standard. They usually have quite late deadlines like January, December. Next is early decision, where you select a college and you say, I want to go here no matter what my financial situation is, no matter when they tell me, I just want to go here. This increases your chances a ton of getting into that school, but you have to sign a contract saying, I'm going to this school no matter what. It's quite risky. Now, a good in-between, which I suggest everyone to do for all their colleges, is EA, Early Action. Please do this. Most deadlines are due around November 1st to November 30th. Just have all your college apps done before November. It's so important. I made that mistake, and I could have gotten into so many more colleges if I just applied earlier. Even if they don't have early action, apply before November, because first off, for certain colleges that do support regular decision only, you might actually get your letter back sooner because you applied earlier. This happened to me and I was so surprised. I'm like, it wasn't rolling, it was regular decision, but I still got it back sooner than everyone else. Just do this, it increases your chances of getting into college. Make sure you do it before November. So important, I cannot stress this enough. Now, if you do have some stray applications, or if you just decided to add another likely to your list, RD applications, but really you should be doing everything EA. After that, it's just financial information, so make sure that you do your FAFSA and your CSS if that applies to every school you can. Do not miss a single thing. Make sure to call up the offices, say, did you get my information? Because if finances is a reason that you will or will not go to college, this is so important. After you're done with that, it's just waiting. So, from basically February to April, or even for some people June, it's just waiting. You just gotta wait. And usually, at least in the US, you get all your letters back April 1st, and then you have a whole month to decide. After that, you decide, and you apply for housing, you put in your deposit, yay, you're in college. Woohoo! So now to talk a little bit about my process. If you're wondering, my credentials are a 90 GPA, and also I took AP Art, did okay in it, and I'm taking AP Calculus. Those are my only two APs. I got a pretty good SAT of 1470 super scored, but like 1450 on super scored. But if that seems like too high of a mark for you, don't worry, you could still get into a lot of these schools without that. Another thing was I had a typo in my college essay in the second sentence. So that was kind of a mistake I made, and if you don't make that mistake, that could get you into a lot of the schools you want to go to. So I knew that I wanted warm weather because of skateboarding, and because of running, I just love being outdoors. So that was a big criteria for me. Then I also knew I wanted a big university, not a small college. Easy. That made my list semi-small, and then I knew I wanted somewhere coastal. I wanted the beach nearby. So then there were still a lot of options. I went through, I picked a couple, and I'm just going to share with you what I applied to and if I got into them. Let's start with what I did not get into. So, big area where I wanted to go was California, a skateboarding hub in the US. And so I applied to a couple schools there, mostly UCs, and I had a limited chance of getting in because I was out of state. First one is UC Irvine. I wasn't too excited about this one, but I decided to apply to it if I really wanted to go to California. Then UC Santa Barbara. That one, such a great campus, I loved it, and honestly if I got in, it would have been a hard choice not to go. After that was UCLA, my dream school, the one that I thought I had no chance of getting into. And lastly, USC, their rival, and this one I thought I had the greatest chance of getting into, and I was going for it head on. I would have actually ED'd if I applied earlier, but I didn't apply early, and that could have ruined my chances of getting in. For all four of these California schools, I didn't get into a single one. Alright? I'm not too mad about it, because I know I deposited where I think I belong. But if I applied earlier for USC, I might have gone in and I might be going. I knew for the other three, they had one deadline, and I didn't take the SAT2 for math, so that kind of messed up my application, but yeah, they're pretty prestigious schools. Next, that I did not get into is Vanderbilt. This one was big. I actually applied for a scholarship that would have gotten me into Vanderbilt. I didn't get into the scholarship, but then I decided to apply to Vanderbilt RD and didn't get in. Really nice school. I have a relative who goes there, and I thought maybe Tennessee would be the city for me. After that, I kind of screwed up in this warm weather thing because these were really big universities and I liked them, so I applied to Northeastern. I actually applied EA here, got deferred, so I did still have a chance, but then some things happened and I didn't get in. Not a big deal. Very close to it, I applied to Boston University and I actually got in. First announcement of getting in something. This one, so many people applied to in my school and were disappointed, and I was one of the few to get in. And I feel bad not going, but it feels pretty nice to get into such a great university. Now, the last school I did not get into is Tulane University. This one, New Orleans, I actually visited the campus and I loved it, and I thought, wow, it would be such a hard decision if I got in. And I got waitlisted, so I could still get in, but I don't think I'm going to go now that I have already committed to a school. Now that I've already committed to school, that's kind of off my list, and yeah, the waitlist is pretty competitive for that. Now, let me continue with the ones that I did get into. I think I'm done with the ones I didn't. So, I got into North Carolina State University. This one seems pretty cool on their website, and I did a virtual tour of it, and I loved their aesthetics, like how they loved for their students to express themselves, but it's a very STEM-oriented school, which I also liked, but I wanted a more artistic feel to it, because I'm also into art. That one I got into, and I'm not going to. Next is Drexel. This was the first school that I actually toured and really liked, and that got me so excited for college once I toured this school in junior year. This is this first school I really liked, and I actually might have ED'd to it if it wasn't for how they took away your summers. Summers are very important to me personally. I do like the co-op program, but I don't like losing my summer. So I just had to say no. After that, I got into another warm weather school of University Central Florida. Really great school, public university, which I liked, and they were in Florida. Who wouldn't want that? And they had a lot of connections in the business world. I would suggest it to anyone really if you want to go far away, or at least for me, far away. I'm not sure if you live in Orlando, Florida, but that's where it is, and it's pretty cool. Next, I also got into University of Maryland at College Park, the Terps. This was, out of the ones I got into, probably my second choice. I really liked this school. I liked the big feeling, the big D1 sports, and I just thought, wow, I could see myself being a Terp. I said no to this school, and after I got in, because I just preferred the school where I'm going, but honestly, if I didn't get into the school where I'm committed to, I would have gone here. I also got into University of Delaware, which gives pretty good financial aid, and I visited the campus, really liked it. Just they have a clear no skateboarding policy. That was a big turnoff for me, but I learned this after I applied, and they were the school where I applied. I applied their regular decision, but I applied in like November, and I got my letter. That was the first letter I got back, and learned that I got into college. So I was like, wow, I got this before January. I think I got that in December, their letter of acceptance. So that's another reason to apply early action for non-early action schools. You get your letters so much earlier, and it shows that you are interested in the school. Also, I got into George Washington. This is what I thought was really like my fittest school. It was in a big city, it wasn't too cold, and it was like a very city-oriented school. But I chose my next school over it, and this is the one where I'm committed to, the University of Miami. Go Canes. So I visited this school. I actually have a cousin who goes there, and I just have a lot of people I know in the Miami area. So that was a big turn on for the school. They also have big Division I sports, but they're a mid-sized school. They're close to a big city, but they still kind of have that suburban campus feel. And that's why I love Miami. Now I'm officially a Cane. I just suggest anyone to check it out. It's a really pretty campus. I seem like so unemotional about this, but like it's kind of exciting to say I'm going to the University of Miami. So that is my college decision, the U. I hope y'all enjoyed that, to know just what colleges I got into, what colleges I didn't get into. Don't feel discouraged. I just think of the college process, especially when I didn't get into the schools I really wanted to go to, UCLA and USC. I knew that because they didn't select me, I didn't necessarily belong there. There were more studious people there, and that they belonged there instead of me, and I think I found the place I belong. So just know the college selection process, it's all to guide you to your destiny. It's all to guide you to where you belong. If you think you belong somewhere, who knows, you might not belong to it, and you might find yourself like going to community college, but that is where you're meant to be, I believe. That is your destiny, that is your fate, to go to that community college, and you're still going to be successful no matter where you go, as long as you get a degree. Or even if you don't get a degree, which I believe in, you can still be successful in this world. Some people think you have to go to college. College is now like going to high school in that matter. High school diploma 30 years ago is the equivalent of a college degree now. I don't think that's true. I think that's just people coming up with a whole bunch of baloney. But you'll be fine even if you don't go to college. That's just my experience. I wasn't too excited about it until I saw Drexel, but you might get excited about it. And if any measures come up where you can't go, don't worry. as long as you put in hard work, I believe, you can do whatever you want. So I'll see you in the next one. Hope y'all enjoyed this, and just keep it going, guys.